reaction to the book of Judges, chapters 16 through 18. The first part of this section deals with the end of the life of a man named Samson. And Samson is kind of this heroic figure in a lot of people's knowledge of scriptures. If you have an interaction with the Bible and the Hebrew scriptures, Samson is this really strong, kind of superhero-like figure. And if we go back in Samson's life to his birth, which is miraculous, and it lines up with several births in the scriptures as we have them today that are unique in that it's foretold by an angel. And this puts Samson in rare company. And when this angel tells Samson's mother that she's going to have a child, he gives instructions that he'll be a Nazirite from birth. And this is similar to John the Baptist. This is the same instruction that was given to John the Baptist. And if you want to read about what a Nazirite is, go read Numbers chapter 6, and it explains what a Nazirite was. And basically, a Nazirite was someone who took a vow of a special time of purity, and they would never become ritually impure during this time of the vow. And then when the vow would end, they would shave their head, and then they could become ritually impure. And so it's unique that there's a few people in scripture that are Nazirites from birth. John the Baptist and Samson are a couple. And if you look through the story of Samson, he would have known this, and he was violating the standards of this vow by coming in contact with dead animals, by becoming impure in his sexual activity, by all of these different things. And we see towards the end of the story, the last kind of connection to this vow is, part of the vow is that you never cut your hair. And so Samson has this really long hair. And I wonder, as we read the story of Samson and Delilah, where he keeps kind of poking this thing, is he thinking that my gifts and my abilities, are they my own? Are they something I have power over, or are they a gift from God? And it's a tragic story where Samson falls, right? And he dies. And it's really a disturbing story. But I wonder if I have gifts or talents or blessings that God gives me, and am I thinking that I'm the master of those things? How does that happen in my life? Because I think we see it here in Samson's life. He's violated everything that he's supposed to stand for, all of it. He's this figure that does amazing things, but this is not, the Bible does not, if you look at the scriptures, he's not a hero. He's done things to people that are sad. He's taken part in behaviors that are selfish. And where am I susceptible to be like Samson and take the gifts and the talents and abilities or blessings that God has given me and use them for my own selfish means, or maybe even worse than that, use them at the cost of someone else? I think it's a sobering question that we ask. We want to be compared, right? We want to have association with great strength and great power, but are we willing to ask the hard question of association with failure and selfishness? Because it's real. And we see this in the story. And the story of the Bible is seeking a righteous king. And I think the good news is that righteous king has come, and that righteous king is Jesus, who had gifts and power, but used them in service to others and at his own detriment. And that's a cool thing, and that's where the story is leading. So hope you're enjoying reading scripture. That's my reaction. Something I just want to quickly add to my reaction that I forgot to say is that the next section, this last part of Judges, is one of the most difficult and disturbing stories in the Bible. It talks about civil war, it talks about sexual assault, it talks about murder, it talks about kidnapping and the poor treatment of young women. It's really difficult. And so as you check this out, remember the Bible is telling the story of what humans are capable of when they decide to be masters of their own way and say, I want nothing to do with God. And so be ready for this. And if you're reading with younger people, think about it. It's really important, I think, that we tell the story of what humans are capable of, but we put it in the light of the redemption of Jesus and the ideal, and say that this is what happens when people try to disconnect themselves and tear away their will from God and say, I want to be master of my life. Anyway, it's sad, it's difficult. Just wanted to give you a heads up.